What up, folks? It's your pal, Coach Vino, and this is the Glass Half Full podcast where we turn setbacks into comebacks. Let's go.
Yo, 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 everybody goes through setbacks, but don't let these setbacks make you take a step back. Step back from the situation, put your brush down, envision the picture you're painting, because everybody goes through setbacks.
All right. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Coach Vino, the people's bartender, and your certified coach from the Boogie Down Bronx. So I hope everybody's well since the last time we hung out. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. And if you are new to the show, thank you for listening. Make sure you check out some of my older stuff. Today I want to talk about doubt. All right. It's not something that gets talked about enough. And I got to tell you, it's one of those things that wrecks more dreams and more lives than most people realize. Doubt, not fear, not laziness, not even failure. I'm talking about doubt, that little voice in your head that whispers, who you think you are. You're not ready for this. You're not good enough. You know what I'm talking about. We've all been there. That hesitation is what creeps in your mind just when you start dreaming a little bit bigger. It's like a second guessing that shows up when you think you're about to switch careers or start a business or write that book, or just speaking up in a room when you normally would stay quiet. And here's the truth. Doubt will kill more dreams than failure ever will. It's really important to understand that. That's what doubt will do. Okay? It'll make you wait. It'll convince you to hold back. Okay? It wraps itself in this logic. Okay? And pretending that maybe you're being smart or being cautious, when in reality, doubt is just fear dressed up in a button-up shirt, a button-down shirt. You know what I mean? It seems like you're being smart. Okay? But here's the thing. Failure is not the enemy here. Okay? Failure is going to teach you. Okay? You fail, you learn, you adjust, and that's how you move forward. But when you let doubt run the show, you don't even get to the failure part. Okay? Because you don't even get to try. What happens is you just end up sitting on the sidelines, watching life pass you by, wondering what might have been. Okay? Let me ask you something. I want you to be real with yourself for a second. Okay? I want you to be honest with yourself. How many things have you not done because of doubt? Okay, if you need to pause this right now to think about that, do that. Okay? But I want you to think about how many times have you talked yourself out of something before you even started? How many opportunities have passed you by because you didn't believe that you were ready or worthy or enough? And I know, look, it's painful to admit it to yourself. I had them. I had plenty of times where I didn't pursue something because I didn't think I could do it. But admitting it to yourself is where growth starts. When you're willing to be honest about the fact that the biggest thing that was standing in your way was you. You understand? Now, I want to be clear here. I'm not saying that you should run out and make reckless decisions. I'm not saying you should quit your job tomorrow with no game plan, and just some dream in your back pocket. What I am saying is that you have to stop letting doubt be the loudest voice in the room. You have to start recognizing when it shows up. When is it that voice in your head? Because that voice in your head is not telling you the truth. It's just programming. Okay? It's made up of every failure, every rejection, and every little moment where you felt like you weren't enough. And that voice in your head gets louder the closer you get to something that matters to you. So what do you do when that voice shows up in your head? Well, you move forward anyway. Okay? You apply anyway to that job. You speak up anyway at that meeting. You understand? You try, knowing you might mess it up, and trusting that you'll be okay if you do. You understand? That's where confidence is built, not in avoiding failure, but surviving it. Every time you prove doubt wrong, it gets a little quieter. And every time you let it win, it gets louder. Okay, so you can either feed it or you can starve it. Okay, I don't want to wake up 20 years from now still wondering what would have happened if I had just believed in myself a little more. I do not need that, and nor do you. Okay, you're not too old, you're not too young. It's not too early, and it's not too late. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You just need to start. Because even if you fail, at least you've lived. At least you've tried. And you take the lessons from that. But if you let doubt keep calling the shots, you're never going to know what could have been. And that to me is the real tragedy. All right, folks, that's all I got for you today. I really hope that if this podcast resonated with you today, that if you know someone else that might benefit from listening to it, you'll send it to them. Because remember, sharing is caring. If you or anyone you know would like to work with Coach Vino, you can visit my website at coachvinollc.com. If you could leave me a review, I would greatly appreciate it so you can help Vino feed the hungry algorithm. And remember, folks, if nobody else tells you, Coach Vino appreciates you. Cheers.
I find it hard to reveal these thoughts and express what I'm feeling in a hip-hop form. But I was born to succeed, so as long as I breathe, ain't nobody on this earth gonna crush my dreams. Yo, this might be the end of the verse, but this is just the start of a new beginning. Word.